meantime, of course, I go to the smoking areas. I go to the valleys, and it was great. And then I found the seeds, you know, and I realized the value of the seeds, because actually I asked one guy, hey, how about having some grass instead of hash, because the Afghans, very nice people, have these big balls of hash all the time. They throw it in your hands and you can feel it, smell it, and throw it back. And it was very nice. So I said, don't you have any weed, you know? Ah, he said, you want the seed? Yeah, man, I want the seed, right? That's a good idea, you know? I can try the seed in my teepee, right? But because the teepee was really like playing like little boys, you know, with the plant. So I brought them, and there's Case. Hey Case, good to see you, man. I'm just telling about the teepee on the first plant we grow. But when we brought the good seeds from Afghanistan, and we had this variety, we grow something really good. And that was the turning point of my existence, because not only and that's the same for Case, we fell in love with this plant. It was a consciousness, you know, and it's funny that actually lately now I realize more and more the consciousness of the plant. It is a living creature. It's like your dog, your pet, your cat. You know, you communicate with it, and that is. If you say that in those days, and sometimes I do, and I do it now again, and they think you're a little bit cuckoo, right? Because you're talking to plants, you know, hugging trees, but all these things have their consciousness. And from the few plants we started, we had a huge greenhouse at a certain moment, and you can imagine a greenhouse like this room, and our plants were in this corner, you know. And we rented a bloody big greenhouse, and we had our 15 plants in the corner. And then something else happened that didn't happen in America before, not with the home growers. Because we were in a greenhouse with gardeners, with flower people, you know, they know a lot about plants, so they learned us a lot. And one of the things he said, why don't you cut it and take cuttings? Cannot, you know, dye, right? No. This dye had a special cutting powder. We tried it. In the first place it didn't work. Then we covered with plastic, keep it more wet. It worked. We were actually, I think, the first, for sure in Holland, who do marijuana cloning. And I remember my American friends, they also here around, they came and they were flabbergasted because I had a greenhouse of, I think, nearly 3,000 meters, and we put plants every 5 meters very early, and later on there were huge trees, more 2.5, 3 meters, full of bud, beautiful, all the same, and it was like, wow, you know. And I remember we standing there, maybe with 28 people, trying to do the harvest. And you didn't see any changes. We were working already for 3-4 days, and it was still like the jungle, you know. We got busted though. But we did get busted. And they busted me many times after. Because I realized, you know, and there was no coffee shop in Amsterdam, in Rotterdam. So we started a coffee shop. And I started a coffee shop. And there was none in Rotterdam. So it was a big fight, because I was on a highway. It's the highway in Rotterdam. And there's a little shop, and I stick a big marijuana leaf on the window and open the first coffee shop. I put posters around in town. And the funny thing is, the police invited the journalist to be there with the bust. So I got busted, but it was on the front page. And, you know, and they bust me. But in those days, they let you out in a day or 2 days. But this time they let me out right away because I'm supposed to stop. But they cannot stop a shop. They can bust you, but they cannot say you cannot open again. So the next day I opened again, We had lines of people, and they passed me, and they passed me, and I opened, and they passed me, and my, even my kids, they working, they're hiding it in a pen, having the dope in a pen, walking through the store, and they were covered around. So they passed me so many times. But I couldn't resist because I had this bondage with this plant, and then I remember myself very well that on a certain moment I see this plant and I was with Case and we have this huge plant and we do the blinking. We go slowly in the plant, you can try it, and you go very near to about like this, and every time you move a little bit, and maybe it is my imagination, maybe it is, but when you step back after a while, it is like the plant doing this. It's opening for you. And I felt them. And one time I was in prison. I can joke about it, but to be in a straitjacket down in the basement, and then you have to go and wait. You're gonna keep you or not. It's terrible. So it's that I don't have a trauma of it. I'm very lucky. But anyway, the bondage was there, and I promised that what I will do with this plant, I always will take care of them. I promise them. But they should help me. Well, I think they did. Because from one incredible moment of learning to the other moment of learning, not only learning how the plant grows, what the fertilizers were, the breeding with also people like my son Alan, and there was a guy named Neville, a top breeder, not so nice person, but nevertheless, one of the top breeders. And then all the people we found, But anyway, I started a coffee shop, and then I had 5 coffee shops. And there were lines like you see here, in front of it. So they didn't like it, and they closed one by one. So I had one left, and the rest is closed by the council, some certain state reasons. But anyway, the coffee shop was something. But growing in a grow room, in a greenhouse, you hide yourself. And because they passed me so many times, I started to learn the law. And I see one thing in the law that really surprised me. And it was everything forbidden, everything except the seeds. Except the seeds. So, because I had so much contact with lawyers, because they had getting out, they had to go to court and all this thing, I say to the guys, hey, listen, I read this. So how is it, if except the seeds, how you can get the seeds if you can't have a plant? So I'm allowed to grow. And they, yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, I wouldn't try it if I were you, but So we did it, and I was right. Because, there was a loophole in the law. So I took it, I go to the police station, we rented a greenhouse, I go to the police station of the village, I say, I'm going to grow hemp seeds. Very nice, very nice. They didn't know how a marijuana plant looked like. So hemp seeds was for something. Weirdos, for the pigeons seeds or something, right? How we can make money on it. So the loophole was there, and I could grow anything I want. And we go to the agriculture ministry, we registered myself, and everything we did how it should be with a farmer of growing seeds. So for 10 years, nobody knew that. Nearly nobody. But of course my shop, and I'm coming to the seed shop here, well, I can go there now, because I started the seed shop. Came together, I worked already with Neville. He had the seed bank, we had the Sensi, so it can become the Sensi seed bank. Neville sent seeds to America. I didn't. I knew America, don't touch it. I didn't want it. So I opened my seed shop here, right away, next to the museum, which with Ed Rosenthal we started. So to go to the seed shop, I'll tell you something else because I come to at Rosenthal. You see this event here, it's amazing. And believe it or not, but it's documented. 27 years ago at Rosenthal, with me and a few guys, getting high, getting stoned, and it came up with Andy said, actually it should be a museum, you know, because I collected a few things and he collected stuff, and you know, we should make an info museum. We should give information to the people through this museum. And okay, we did, you know, so we opened the museum. Right away, the police came, they locked it up, you know, and there were some other guys from a coffee shop involved, and financially as well. They were very scared, they run out, and I took the whole thing over because my seed shop was next door already. And we go on, so, and we had a court case at Rosenthal and me, and we won. So that is why the museum is still there. All these things together comes to the point, because my seed shop started to make money, and especially the guys from America, but also from France and all over Europe, and actually all over the world, people started to realize what I did. And because of that, also a lot of, like at Rosenthal, Joseph Andries, name them, you know, so many people came to our place to see what we are doing, that it was nice, you know. And I'm not sure, we can show you some of my friends, games. But here you see me and Ed in the early days. Ed is a funny guy, but he's a nice guy. Here you see George Cervantes, Ed Rosenthal, Chris and Mickey. Mary came from the first hemp magazine, Hemp World. Albert there, Alan, my son, and Mishka from France. And I like it now, so that's really here. And here you see beautiful people, Mishka again, and Robert Clark, you know, I mean, he's a beautiful guy. And Mark Emery, you know, the guy who said, man, thank you for learning me this thing. And then Anjo Gambier, he's the guy, actually, the front runner of Jack Herrera. Jack got a lot of information from him. He's one of the, he died a few years ago. Lucky before he died, he got the Cannabis Culture Award from the museum. Beautiful man, beautiful people, and of course Jack. You know, Jack is, with Jack we did the thing, it came from being friends, you know, and he came, before, I think it was before this book came out, quite at the same time, and we talking hand in hand, and you know, Jack is always like, blah, blah, blah. You know, he don't want to convince you, want to push it into you, and he did, you know, and together we did it. And in my museum, there was something funny, you know, that all the answers people ask, like, is it true this is strong fiber? Is it true that Columbus couldn't find America without him? Is it, all the questions we could answer. Only one question I couldn't answer. The story of hemp. The story of hemp is a beautiful story, so I can answer all the historical things, not all, but a lot. Enough for people to convince hemp is a good thing. But one thing I couldn't answer, why nobody is doing hemp? And Jack was in the same time with his book, and I was making a lot of money with my coffee shops because we grow a lot of grass and seeds. That's not seeds, you know, but it was grass, right, in the first place. So we made a lot of money, and I was complimented by the tax government people that we are doing very well because we were the best coffee shop from Holland, you know. We brought in as much money as many others. But the answer that we couldn't do that, there's nobody doing hemp, and I had a few millions at the bank, you know. And as an old hippie, I like money, but I don't give a shit about it also. So it was there, and then, oh, hemp, and saw in the newspaper there was a flax factory bankrupt. Well, flax and hemp is quite together. You know, it's a sort of the same plant, only hemp is the super champion, of course. But the degradation to process hemp and flax is quite the same. So I bought, not this factory, but a small factory, and we started, and it was fun. It was fun. We did 140 hectares, that's about 300, 400 acres or more, and we didn't know how to do it. We just had we found the farmers. I bought the farmers, right? It was expensive. Everything was expensive, but we created this very small greenhouse. Going with that. It's a suggestion of what it should be. You know, people should grow and share and enjoy. Hey, what's up there, man?
He's a cop.
So,
He's a cop.
Hey guys.
Woo!
Ben Dronkers is the name. Hey man, Ben Dronkers is the name. What do you want? What? No, I'm not in a collection anyway. I'm too old for this shit. Yeah?
You know the rules, huh?
Tell your mother. Tell the rules. We should stand up for the rights. We should stand up for the rights. We can't take it anymore. No, you piss me like hell and we're not going to take it anymore. You piss me off like hell and we're not going to take it anymore. I'll be searching on the door and hate it. If this is high times, I'll never be on high times again. I wasn't up here for a few times. We started it with freedom, and we started with opposition, and we fight for it, and we will fight for it. So piss off. Put it out. Let's put it out. Let's push it out. Let's push it out again. Get out of here. Come on, help.
Get out!
We're pissed right now, and we're not going to take it anymore.
Can you walk with me? 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 Can you walk with me, please? Can you walk with me? Hey!
Like I said,
Yeah? That's the thing I want to talk to you.
they don't take the bankers who take all the money from the pensioners. They don't put them in jail. Too high to fail, right? So to put it to the mainstream, I was once in Barcelona, and there was a beautiful building there. This is the building. And
I'm sorry, can you interrupt real quick? Sorry.
Listen, folks, hold on. Everybody, listen, please follow the rules. Whoever's handing out the weed, please stop. All right? It's just not the way things are going to go with this Cannabis Cup. All right? So I'm sorry. These are the rules. This is the law. And we have to follow Dutch law. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can see we got a situation where people are getting a little bit upset about this. So in America, it's not that way. We're going to have to deal with this, okay? So I apologize to interrupt you. Sorry.
Free the weed!
Free the weed!
Burn it all!
the thing is, now I understand your position exactly. I'm not sorry, okay? I'm not sorry. There is no law, there should not be a law, and there isn't, that people cannot share. And we're sharing here. So, anyway, we share also culture, and cannabis is a culture. And this is the history of cannabis in the museum. Please have a look. Here you see Barcelona, the new museum, and it is really incredible. It took me 10 years for renovation, little bit by little bit, and it is a real piece of art. And the main, you know, when we started with the Mickey Mouse Museum here in Amsterdam, it was a Mickey Mouse Museum.